Technology is advancing every day, making information and knowledge more accessible than ever before. As a result, traditional ways of getting that information are becoming less relevant. But while new tech opens doors, it can also come with a hefty price tag, making it out of reach for many. Luckily, we have many local libraries that are evolving with the times. They're embracing innovation and making these resources available to not just their communities, but the surrounding communities as well. Welcome to Celebrate Michigan, the show produced on the campus of Madonna University. I'm Chris Benson, and today I'm joined by the team from the Northville District Library. They are passionate about sharing how they've helped lead that charge of technology going forward. Please welcome Tyler Vitale, Katie Rothley, and Michael McEvoy to the show. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're so glad you're here today.
We're very happy to be here.
Excellent. So let's start with having you tell us your role at the library, maybe how long you've been there.
So I've been at the library for, I think, 12 or 13 years, somewhere around there. Started as a computer page, which was a person that would just help people with the computers downstairs. And I worked my way up to where I am now, which is an IT associate. I work alongside Michael. And we both take care of the library's technology, and I also staff and manage the makerspace.
Oh, excellent, which I can't wait to hear about. I understand there are some things here that may have been, they may have been born in that makerspace. Excellent. Katie, tell us about you.
I've been at the library now for almost 3.5 years, and I am the marketing librarian, so I do all of the communications, the social media, all of the print materials. I'm very busy.
Oh, no small job.
Yeah, so I have to advertise and promote everything that all of my colleagues are doing, such as Tyler in the makerspace.
And I understand we found out about you through TikTok, which is, of course, very interesting. So we'll talk about that too. Excellent. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Okay, Michael, tell us about your role at the library.
Well, I am the head of IT at the library, and I've been here, I've been at the library for 27 years now. So I've been in libraries for almost 40 years, actually.
Excellent.
And I basically have just worked my way up through going through learning about technology, teaching people how to use it, and we run everything in the building pretty much. Everything plugs into a wall, it runs on electricity, whether it's wired or wireless, we take care of it. And that includes the HVAC system in the library, security systems in the library, all the servers, everything, pretty much.
Wow. So let me ask you then, since you've been at the library the longest, how has technology changed over the years? How would you characterize the changes in technology at the library?
Well, the demand for computers has changed a lot over the years. When I started at the library, we had 6 public computers.
Okay.
At our peak, we had 22 public computers. But the demand for public computers is lower now than it used to be, and most of the demand is for Wi-Fi.
Wow.
So people want to connect their own devices. They want to bring in their phones and their tablets and their notebooks and connect to the internet at the library. So we don't have as many of those. Everything's gotten smaller.
Isn't that crazy?
Unquestionably. You know, we used to have these massive monitors that weighed, 150 pounds, and now we don't have those. You just have big flat panels that weigh slightly more than a hamburger.
I am of the generation where technology to me in the library was the microfiche and microfilm machine. So it's interesting, even just in a few years, right, how that, it's been more than a few years since that was the innovation at the library, but sounds like you've seen a lot over the years that's changed.
Yes. We still have microfiche and microfilm in the library, by the way. It's just dealt with quite a bit differently.
Yeah, I'm sure. So how about both of you? How have you seen technology change since you've been in the library? Because even if you've been there 6 months, I feel like things change so quickly now.
I guess one of the hugest indicators for me is there is a computing device that's quite popular nowadays called the Raspberry Pi. And what it is it's a full-fledged computer. You can run an operating system on it, and if you want to, browse the internet and do your taxes. It is that big. It's only a little bit bigger than the size of a credit card.
Wow.
And it's a full-fledged computer. It can come with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. You've got network ports and USB ports to plug into. It's wild to me that something that small and yet that powerful can exist. But that's the reality of the world we live in today.
So when I look in history books and I look back to the 1950s and they have these giant rooms with these, ceiling to floor, it looks like they're doing something, right? These machines that are doing things. This small device probably has more power than that whole room.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you have this, now what's it called again?
It's called the Raspberry Pi. It's kind of a funny name.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
So this is the first time. So you're teaching me some things. This is wonderful. Okay, excellent. Okay, another example of technology, Katie. What's changed since you've been in libraries?
Not only the computers, the checkout systems, our ILS software that handles all of the checkouts and manages all of our collection records. So the software has changed. And then people are able to check things out on their own with a self-checkout machine.
Wow.
I've gone from having to use like a full-fledged video recording camera to now I can just use my phone to do video editing for the library, or capture photos and do photo editing for the library as well. So I have seen a lot of technological change.
And as you think about libraries, and not that it's a competition, because we love all of our libraries, how it seems like Northville is known for technology. Like I feel like in the area, I've heard about that. So that's got to be exciting to be affiliated with a library that's got all these things to offer. What do you think about that?
I mean, I certainly think that we're a pretty technology-forward library. Me and Michael, I think, are a not insignificant portion of that, I guess we'll say.
And bringing a lot of that. And now how do people in the community respond to that?
It depends on the person, I suppose. We have quite a few patrons who come in who have kind of an aversion to technology.
Sure.
I recall a specific instance of a patron who came into the library who did not understand keyboards. He didn't get the concept of a keyboard.
Yeah.
And my take on this is that I'm willing to sit and work with you as long as you're willing to sit and listen. And a lot of people find that while it can be, it's like trying anything new, really. It can be scary going in, but really once you start to discover the limitations of this technology and kind of how far it can take you, it's rather exciting.
Oh, this is rather exciting, but we already have to take a break. So join us in just a few minutes and we'll be back to hear what's going on at the Northville District Library. See you soon.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Fast-paced family life in need of a slowdown?
Hello, I'm Dr. Spruce. Did you know all those green shapes on maps are parks and forests? It's true. Visit discovertheforest.org and plan to visit a park or forest near you, instead of just wondering what it would have been like.
While the word forest might make you think of distant lands from far, far away, please note parks and forests are closer than you think, which means things like beautiful scenery, fresh air, and family time are also closer than you think.
I want to see the world.
When you pick up a book,
I used to read every night to all the younger kids,
and let your imagination break free, you won't believe how much fun it can be.
let down your house.
Experience a world of adventure, excitement, and endless possibilities. Get tangled up in a good book. Explore new worlds. Read. Visit read.gov today.
When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. I'm Chris Benson, continuing our conversation with the wonderful people of the Northville District Library. We're so excited that you're here. We were talking about tech in the last episode, or last segment, I should say. So tell me, you don't just have books in the library. For someone who might be just expecting to come in and, I'm going to get a good read, you have all kinds of things going on. Talk a little bit about some of the tech things that you have in the library that patrons can check out or take a look at or be involved with.
Sure. We have our digital conversion equipment downstairs in the local history room, and then we also have all of the technology in the makerspace. We have a CNC laser, we have a 3D printer. We have 4 of them.
Oh my
4
gosh.
3D printers that are just running all the time. And then we also have a sublimation machine, but I forget the name of it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a sublimation printer. It allows you to transfer images onto objects. It could be a lot of different things: mugs, T-shirts, coasters.
Yeah.
My little tag was actually made using sublimation.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. So the first one you mentioned, you said it was like a transfer. What is the first technology that you mentioned? It was like transferring a machine.
Oh, the laser or
digital conversion.
Yes. What is that?
So digital conversion is the act of transferring analog media into digital files. So if I have old VHS tapes, old 8mm films, audio cassettes, records, and that type of thing, I can transfer it into digital files.
Wow.
So we teach people how to do that, and we have them come in every other Friday, and we just give them a demonstration of it, and then they can have at it and use the equipment as however much they need.
So I could have a box of this stuff. I just come in and I want to like digitize these, and then I've got it. And you'll show me how. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
You just have to make an appointment on our website, and then you can bring your materials in, and then you can have them converted into a newer format. So, for instance, a digital file.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then you said a maker space. So these are popular things now, and you've got all kinds of whistles and bells in there. 3D printer, which we'll get into some of these things there. You mentioned the sublimation, is that right?
Printer.
So I could print like a mouse pad or something, you know, with my own design that I want. What else do you said a laser.
A CNC laser.
What on earth do I do with that?
So a laser can be used to do primarily 2 things, that is cut and engrave. There's a lot of different materials that you can cut, and there's a lot of different things that you can make in this way. I kind of have an example of some of the things. That safe there was actually laser cut. And the sign that's up here was actually sublimated onto, but it was first cut out with the laser. So you can do cutting, you can do engraving with a laser, and that can be done on things like wood, plastics, glass. Really, what you can do with that is almost limitless. It's only really limited by your imagination.
Wow. So what if I have no imagination, but I want to use the cool technology? Can I just come and you guys will help me out with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tyler has links to a lot of like templates online, especially for the 3D printer. And then, I mean, we can do like a basic image search, so you can be inspired by something somebody else did.
Wow.
We also have the heat press too. So once you print out the sublimated image, you can then it's pressed onto like a mug or the T-shirt or anything like that.
Gosh. So this makerspace, is it open as long as like the library's open?
No, it has specific hours.
Okay.
So it is staffed by Tyler, and then we do have IT assistants, or they staff it. So the hours are slightly less than the normal library operating hours.
But still, what neat things to have, you know. And again, like I know we mentioned that not everybody has access to be able to purchase those things for their home, or maybe you might want to, but you want to try it out first because you may not really like it. So it sounds like it's a great place for people to come and do that. What kind of people come in, and what kind of people do you work with that come in to use this technology? Do you have people of all ages? And
yes. And I know Tyler has a couple stories. There was an adult who came in who wanted to fix a piece of some kind of tech or equipment that he had at home. He was able to find the schematics online and then 3D print a piece to fix whatever it was at home. That's only one of the stories.
How cool.
Tyler has helped numerous people.
Really?
Yes, yeah. There's been a couple of instances in which I've done that. Sometimes we're able to find the part online. Some people will just do 3D modeling and then create parts and post them online for others to use.
Oh my gosh.
Other times I have engaged in little bits of CAD work to try to recreate, if not the same part, something that at least will fit and work for what they're trying to do. Wow. But yeah, we've fixed tripods that way. I helped a patron fix one of those plastic handles on a door screen.
Oh.
He told me to keep the design because he said his neighbor has the same problem.
I'm going to send the neighbor over. He can help him too.
But yeah, no, I've even fixed I've fixed parts on my own car. And there's a sheath on my antenna that was old and broke off, and so I decided I have a 3D printer. I'll print something to fix it.
Wow. How long did it take you guys to learn to use this technology? Like, did you know how to use this, or?
I've been looking at this for quite a while. I first saw some of this technology over at Birmingham Library and Rochester Hills Library. They were two of the local libraries who were the first ones to actually get into that. And the stuff they had, I mean, immediately, like, we need this, then we have to have this. Yeah. But it's, obviously, you mentioned earlier, it's expensive. It takes a while to figure out how you fund something like that, where you put it, and finding someone who actually wants to learn how to use all this stuff and then teach other people how to use it.
And Tyler has been great because he taught himself how to use the laser that we have, and that is a piece of equipment you normally wouldn't find someone would just buy for their home. It also takes a lot of skill, and it needs to have vents and proper filtration and things like that.
Yeah, wonderful. I would say the two kind of big things, 3D printing is something that I started working on about a year prior to doing this. I still am not a master by any means with it. It's something that plastics are vast and numerous, and they are complicated materials. It takes a lot of knowledge to be able to print just one type of plastic correctly, let alone many. And then to have knowledge of the properties of these plastics to know whether or not what you're trying to print will even work.
Yeah.
The laser, similarly, I still do not consider myself a master with the laser. Wow. I had a very good mentor who was able to give me some training on the laser. But ultimately, yeah, it's something that I'm still perfecting. It takes a long time.
Awesome. My gosh, so much to learn. Stay with us in just a minute. We'll talk more with our friends from the Northville District Library. Stay tuned.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans.
These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids.
Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think, but so is the solution.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Learning how to kickflip 6 stairs takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Hi, I'm Peter. And there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends.
Come on in. Help yourself to anything.
That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit savethefood.com.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. I'm Chris Benson, here with the team from the Northville District Library. We've been talking about technology. We've been talking about how libraries change. I've waited, but I need to talk now about these cool things that you brought to show me that you created in the Make It space. Is that what it's called? Okay. All right, so you talked a little bit. Let's start over on that side. So tell me what we're looking at and how did we make this?
So what Michael is holding right there is a safe. It was made out of material called basswood on the CNC laser machine. The laser uses a beam of light to ultimately burn through materials, in this case wood, and by controlling it in a particular manner, we can cut out particular shapes, and then I ultimately just glued it together with some super glue.
Awesome.
It's like putting a model together.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a 3D puzzle.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And I know we were joking. We were like, it's a great safe, but you wouldn't put like your most valuable stuff in.
Probably not, no.
Okay. All right. Good to know. All right. And then you've got something you brought here.
Yep. So that's an example of both sublimation printing and laser cutting. The actual material itself is something called MDF board, and it's sublimation compatible. So the laser cuts through this material, so that's how we get kind of the shape of it.
The bevel.
Yep. Yeah. And then the sublimation printer is what ultimately put the library's logo onto it. We actually use this process to create signs for our podiums, which is what that is.
Nice, nice, excellent. Okay, all right, I've waited. Can I touch this?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, so what is this and how did you make this?
So it's a sword. It's from a game that a friend of mine and I like, but ultimately I built it kind of as a showpiece to have in the makerspace, get people to turn their heads, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It was 3D printed. There is the only part that was not 3D printed in it is there's a wooden dowel that runs up the center. You might be able to see right there.
It's actually got some weight to it. Like when I saw it, I thought, oh, that's gonna be pretty light, but no, I mean, this feels like a sword.
Was printed in 21 individual parts, and it took me about a week and a half of work in total. The piece right here was the part that took longest. That was on the printer for 18 hours.
This piece right here, really? Because I look at all this, but again, assembling all the pieces to it. So awesome, awesome, awesome.
You should have seen them when it was all done. They were having, it was like, it was like a party. Yeah.
And then it was like, we need another one so we can have a duel, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and this is really cool to my left. What is this?
So that is a fiber optic lamp. It was actually designed by somebody else, but I kind of was browsing the internet and found it and knew that I had to make it. The actual frame and everything were designed by this person on the internet, but then the electronics were kind of I put my own spin on them. I kind of wanted it to work a little bit differently. But what it is essentially is a plastic frame that was 3D printed, and then around the edge of the frame are strips of LEDs.
Wow.
These LEDs are what's referred to as addressable, which means that we can actually control every single LED individually. And as a result, we can kind of create really cool effects. The sort of fibers that you see there are acrylic optical fibers. It's just a piece of plastic that's flexible and clear, and it conducts light really well. So we just connect them between holes where the LEDs are, and we can kind of create like a little light show.
Wow, and you have workshops where people can come and make this. Like they don't have to know how to do this. They can come, hang out with you guys, and you'll show them how to do this.
Yes.
Yeah, Tyler has classes maybe twice a month in the Make It space, and it is by registration off of our event calendar on our website. So people do have to sign up. They fill up really fast.
Oh wow!
And every month there's something new that Tyler has come up with. I think at one point he wanted to do this weather vane thing project for it, but it turned out to be too complicated, so he's not gonna do that. But I mean, everything we're showing you is just a drop in the ocean of what you can actually do in the makerspace.
Oh, so tell us, how can people find you? If people are watching now and they're like, I must go to the Northville Library and do these things, where can they find you?
So we're online. We have a website. It's www.northvillelibrary.org, and all of our information is on there. Under the Attend tab is all of our events that you can either drop in or sign up to attend. It includes the Makerspace classes and also any of our technology help assistance and digital conversion demos that people can sign up to come into. And then we also have all of our collections on there, all of our online databases, and all of our digital library materials too are all listed on there.
Awesome. And your website is great. You've got so many things. Are you also on like social media? Like where can we find you? I know you're on
Yes.
TikTok because I think that's how we found you.
Everything.
Yes, we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify even. YouTube we don't do as much on there. I know we did over the pandemic, we were putting stuff on YouTube, but we're on X and we're also on Threads.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
things I don't even know. Well, Michael, Katie, Tyler, it has been such a pleasure having you today. Thanks for introducing me to some new things that I didn't even know the library had.
Thank you so much for having us. We're always passionate about talking and sharing about these things, and we absolutely love it. So we're excited to share all of this with you.
Wonderful. And we're glad we could share it with you. Thank you for joining us and celebrating all the great things that we have going on in Michigan. We'll see you next time.